Hi guys, welcome. I am super excited to be making this prenatal video for you guys. We are going to be using a yoga mat today. If you don't have that, just something soft to lie on. I'm going to be using a yoga brick just to sit on for a few exercises to get my hips lifted off of the floor. If you don't have a yoga brick, there's lots of options. You can either just sit in a chair. If you have a big physio ball, you can sit on that. That's also really great. Or maybe just stacking some books up. Just something to get you lifted away from the floor. And then I'm going to be using some weights as well. If you do not have weights, lots of options as well. So you can use maybe some water bottles, some jars full of spaghetti sauce or beans, anything that you may have, wine bottles if they're hanging around. Yeah, lots of options for that as well. Weights, of course, always optional. If it ever feels better for your body not to use them, of course, don't. And that goes for all of class. I really just want to spread some knowledge about what's going on with your body and get you really moving, something that feels good. Whenever something doesn't feel good, don't do it. Listen to your body. Don't push yourself if it doesn't feel right for you. That's the most important thing through this. So we are going to start off actually sitting on this yoga brick. We're going to start off by finding our breath in our abdominals. I'm going to sit sideways for you, but you can sit facing me. But we're going to start sitting on the brick. I'm going to sit crisscross applesauce. Again, if this does not feel good for you, sit on a chair or a physio ball. It's just good to have something underneath you to use as feedback as we start to kind of activate through your pelvic floor as well. So I want you to start hands around your ribs here. Thumbs in the back, forefingers in the front. We're going to start to just notice where your breath is going, what it's doing here. And I want you to start to direct that breath into your ribs. So taking a nice big inhale, think breathing into your thumbs and into your back ribs. And then exhaling through your front ribs. So feeling them try to knit together, letting your waist become smaller. And you're gonna go for a few like this. Big inhales, breathe into the back and the sides of your body. Try not to shrug up through those shoulders. You breathing into your ribs, not to your neck. And then exhaling, feel your waist or imagine that waist narrowing in, fingertips closer together. So I want you to keep going like that a few times here. We're going to start to wake up the deepest layer of your abs, your transverse abdominals, all just from your breath, and they wrap around your waist like a corset here. They connect to your pelvic floor, and they're going to be the same muscles that you use in labor. Let's go for one more big breath. And then I want you to lower your hands now to the front of your belly. So we're gonna start to find some belly breaths now. Again, we're gonna get a little deeper into those abs. So I want you to use your hands as feedback. Think taking an inhale into your palms, into your hands. Exhaling all the air out of your body so much. Belly button pulls in towards your spine. Imagine a hug of the baby away from your palms here. And then you inhale to release into your palms. Again, you exhale all the air out. Belly pulls in, a little hug of the baby towards your spine, transverse abs work, and then you inhale to release. So you go for a few like this. I don't want you to think holding your breath at any point. While finding the deepest layer of your abs here, you should be able to breathe, you should be able to talk like I'm doing now. And then I want you to start to find your pelvic floor with that. Now pelvic floor, I want you to imagine it coming from 4 points. So your pubic bone to your tailbone, and then your 2 sits bones. So it's almost like a cross here, right? So as you exhale, those 4 points are coming in and up towards your belly button. And then you inhale to release that. Whatever you're sitting on, use it as a guide. So you exhale, think lifting in and up towards your belly button, abs turn on, pelvic floor activated, and then you inhale to relax that. So we're gonna go for a few, and we're gonna make this into an exercise now. We're just gonna add in a holds with that. So we'll do it together. Big inhale into your belly. Exhale all the air out. Belly pulls in. You're gonna hold at the very end here. We're gonna hold for 5. You should be able to breathe for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, relax into your palms. Exhale all that air out. Hug that baby in. You hold at the very end for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, relax into those palms. 2 more times. Exhale all the air out. You hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, relax. Exhale all the air out. Think widening through those low abs, that core set wrapping in. You're breathing, you're holding those abs, pelvic floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Let yourself relax. Shake out anything that you need to here. Those breathing exercises, I know it takes a while. It's a little bit of time and it may seem boring, but it is the most important thing for you. You can't really do enough of those transverse contractions here or holds. You can't do them enough throughout the day, so super important. So we're gonna take that yoga brick away. We are gonna go into a nice bridge series next. Now bridges, I'm gonna lie down on my back. If for some reason lying down on your back is not comfortable for you, then I want you to stay here seated and keep going with the breathing exercises just while I make it through this series. If you feel okay lying on your back, we are not going to be here for too long. We're just going to warm up into the back of those legs. You're going to meet me lying down on your back. To get there, whenever you lie yourself down, let me move these weights, move to the side. We're always going to lie down on your side first. And then from there, you rotate to lie down onto your back. That's always the safest way. Arms are going to be by your side to start. Feet are hip width apart here. We're going to find your breath again. I want you to make a diamond shape. Thumbs to your belly button, 4 fingers to your pubic bone. We're going to start off with some pelvic tilts. So on your next exhale, your low abs draw in away from your thumbs and you take a little scoop, a little pelvic tilt. Inhale to release that. Stick your tail out to the mat. Again, you exhale, low abs draw in, a little scoop. And you inhale to release. Just warming up your pelvis now. Let's go for 3 more. Try to relax through your back legs for 2. Last 1. Arms by your side. Now we're going to enter our first bridge. So you progress that on your exhale. Tuck your tail. Peel your hips off to the ceiling, 1 vertebrae at a time. At the top of your bridge, you take a second here. Think of finding pubic bone higher than your hip bone. So you're really tucking that tail, squeezing through the smile line of your cheeks where your hamstrings meet your glutes. Nice big inhale. Exhale, think closing your ribs and bone by bone. Massage your spine all the way down. Let your tail relax at the bottom. We're gonna go for about 4 more like this. Just warming up through your spine. So I want you to think, how much can you articulate here? Do not think you have to go super high. You're going just to where you can, where your pubic bone's higher than your hip bones, rather than like this. We don't want to flare the ribs open or get into your low back. 2 more, really squeezing your glutes here. Warm them up. Feel a connection from your heels to your glutes. For 2. On the next one, you're going to stay lifted at the top and hold here. We're going to find your pelvic tilts again. So I want you to stick your tails out and lower your hips halfway to the mat. Squeeze your glutes, lift right back up. Stick your tail out to lower, and you squeeze to lift. So your ribs are staying frozen in space. We are rotating just through that pelvis. Warming up those back legs. Let's go for 5, for 4, for 3, 2. Last one. You find the top, big inhale. Exhale, bone by bone, melt your spine all the way down. We're gonna go for one more bridge. On the exhale, you scoop, lift those hips right back up. So this time, I want you to try and lift your left hip up an inch to the ceiling, and then your right hip up an inch. Left hip lifts an inch, right hip lifts an inch. Think how quiet can you keep your thighs in space and your ribs. You're rotating your pelvis side to side, and I want you to feel how you can isolate one butt cheek at a time. Your obliques are also helping to rotate here. We're gonna go for 2 more sets to each side. Last set. Find your center, hold. Start to pulse your hips up an inch, down an inch to finish. Little pulses. Think of your sits bones wrapping in towards your inner thighs. Glutes should be on fire. You're here for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bone by bone, melt your spine all the way down. Really lovely work. Go ahead and give a hug of the knees toward your chest. Whatever really feels good here for those hamstrings, maybe a little gentle rock from side to side. This is a really nice release too to let your pelvic floor relax. A healthy pelvic floor is not just one that can contract, but also one that can relax. So it's super important to exercise in both ways. All right, so from here, we are gonna just gently turn to lie down on your left side. Left arm goes long, rest your ear onto your shoulder. Option as well, if you'd like, you just find a pillow to rest your head on here. Now we're gonna take some side lying work. So we're gonna start to build some strength into your outer glutes now. Super important throughout your pregnancy. There's a lot going on with the pelvis, a lot is changing. We wanna build that strength into your pelvis, into your hips here. So first thing, we're gonna find your neutral alignment. So I want you to think lifting your left waist up and away from the mat beneath you here. You should be able to slide your hand underneath for a little pocket of air. Think pushing your right hip down, and then sticking your tails out. So your sits bones are sticking out wide behind you here. We're gonna start off with some clamps. Feet stay attached. I want you to just open your top knee to the ceiling, lower your knee back down. Simple to start. You open and you close. We're focusing on getting into your outside right glute. Don't be afraid to place a hand there. Sometimes that tactile feedback's really nice. Getting that glute to turn on. A little squeeze first to open that knee. And we are going just at the range without allowing yourself to roll back. So also a good guide is taking your hand behind your hips, keeping them quiet and stacked. Let's go for 5 more. And of course, if you ever need to take a break, you take a break. Pause the video, give yourself a breath, grab some water. Last 2. Last 1. Let yourself relax. From here, adding on, you're gonna bring your knees a little more up in line with your hips. So a nice 90-degree shape here. You keep that 90-degree shape. You're gonna float that top leg up to the ceiling, lower it back down. A little lift, a little lower. Again, you're opening just to where you can without rolling back here. Notice if maybe you're starting to tuck your pelvis here. You don't want to round your low back. I want you to really focus on sticking that tail out behind you in your neutral pelvis. Nice little arc here. That's going to help get into the glute to its max. Last 4. For 3. Last 2. Keep that leg lifted at the top. You hold here, mini clamps. Open your knee an inch, close an inch to the ceiling. Open an inch, close an inch. A little squeeze of that right cheek. You're here for 6. Breathe. For 5. 4. Ooh, feel that burn. For 3. 2. Last 1. Lower it down and give yourself a little love tap here. We are going to take one more part into that right glute. Should be finding a nice burn here. All right, when you're ready, That leg is gonna come right back up, 90 degrees, and hold. Flex your foot towards you here. I want you to reach that leg long underneath you as if you're standing right on top of it, and then you bend it back in. Press into your heel, squeeze that right cheek. You lengthen long through your back leg. You bend it back in. We're here for 5. You're resisting both directions. Double check that waist is still long. It's still lifted. For 3. For 2. Keep that leg long and hold here. You pulse that leg up an inch, down an inch to finish. Little pulses. For 8, squeeze that right glute. There's a release ahead of us here. We're almost there. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Bend that leg in. Give yourself a little tap here. Really, really nice. We're gonna carefully turn onto your back just to give a nice stretch. We're gonna go for a figure 4. So I want you to cross your right ankle over your left knee here. If that feels like enough of a stretch, you stick with it. If you want to increase, you grab behind that left thigh, pull the legs closer towards you. Then sticking your tail out in opposition here. You should get a nice release into that right hip. This is super important, this stretch, into your piriformis. If you're happening to have any sciatica pain, this stretch is really good for you. Try and do it every day. One more big breath. And then slowly release out of that. Awesome work. So you're gonna go ahead and turn right away onto the other side. I'm gonna meet you there. I'm gonna sit up first. If you're sitting up, always lie on your side first to come back up. And we're gonna go over to the other side here. Lying down on your right side. All right, starting off with your clams here. You're gonna find that lift into your right waist. Push that left hip down, hips are nice and stacked. Keep your feet attached. Open your left knee to the ceiling, lower back down. A little squeeze of that left glute, lower back down. Think even before you lift that knee to the ceiling, can you squeeze that side glute here? We're here for 4, 3, 2, last one. Bring the knees a little closer towards your chest, or right in front of your hips now, 90 degrees. You start to levitate that leg to the ceiling, lower back down. Keep going here. Now, if lying on your side is uncomfortable, especially if you're further along in your pregnancy, maybe more weight towards the front of your body. If that doesn't feel great, you can always take a pillow or kind of a ball underneath your belly here to kind of help lift that belly up in line with you. That's always a modification if you need it. 3 more. Looking great. We're building all that hip stability here. So important. For 2. Keep that leg lifted and hold here. You're going to open your knee, mini clam, and close. You open and close. We're here for 8. For 7. Breathe through it. For 5. Find that burn. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Lower it down. Tap it out. Your last bit here. Leg lifts right back up 90 degrees. Like you're standing on top of it. Flex through that heel. Press, lengthen out long. Resist. You bend it back in just to tabletop. Press into your heel. Squeeze through that back leg. Resist to bend. You're here for 5. Almost think slightly underneath you here, or a little behind. That's going to help get into that glute a little more. For 4. For 3, 2, keep that leg long and hold. Little pulses, up an inch, down an inch. When you lift, you try not to sink into your waist, right? So it's more of a reach. See how I'm pushing that left hip down? You're here for 8, and then we're out of it, and you get that nice stretch. Whew, burn in. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Tap it out. Really nice work. You're going to carefully flip to your back one more time. left ankle over your right knee. Bring those legs in. Ooh. The farther along in your pregnancy, the tighter your hips are gonna get here. I will give you some nice releases at the end too to open up your hips. But again, you can't do this stretch enough. You can also do this stretch seated in a chair if that feels better for you. Awesome. We're gonna carefully release. You're gonna flip, lie on your side. And you're gonna go ahead and press with that hand to sit yourself back up. And we're gonna meet in a quadruped shape. So hands and knees now. I want you to take a few cat-cows once we're here. So I want you to round your spine like a scary cat, look towards your belly. Reverse that and arch, look up towards the ceiling. Go for a few at your own pace. If you need a head roll, a tail roll. If your wrists are sensitive at all, you can always roll up the yoga mat to take underneath your palms. You can always come onto your fists. And then as we make our way through this series, always an option to come down onto your forearms and elbows. So know that that's there if you need it. Let's go for 2 more sets. Feel your abs play a role. So they're wrapping in. They stay active even as you arch and look up towards the ceiling. 1 more set. Now you're gonna find a long neutral spine. So in between those 2 extremes here, we are going to find the breath that we started with, or started this session with, but now in this quadruped shape, which is personally my favorite way to do these transverse abdominal breathing exercises. So I want you to take a big inhale into your belly. Think of letting your baby fall towards the floor. And then as you exhale, without moving your spine, you hug that baby in up towards your spine. And then you inhale to release. Exhale, baby pulls in, little hug towards your spine. You inhale to release. Keep going like that. I want you to imagine as if my hand, or you can even take your hand there to kind of use as a guide, but you breathe into your palm. Exhale all the air out, a little hug of the baby away from your palm without moving your spine, right? So it's only those transverse abdominals, that pelvic floor working here. Let's go for 3 more big breaths. For 2. Last one. Awesome. Now on your next exhale, I want you to exhale all that air out. Feel those abs engaged. You're gonna hold those abs engaged. You're still breathing, right? All you're gonna do is shift your weight over to your left arm and reach that right arm in front of you. Thumb is facing the ceiling. You switch, lower the right arm, shift to the right, left arm. Abs are super active. Baby hugging in towards your spine. Now, if this ever feels enough for you, you take your time and you stick with this. If and only if you feel good balance-wise, we are going to add in the opposite leg here. So the next time your right arm reaches in front, maybe left leg reaches long behind you. You take a second, abs wrap in, you control to lower, and you switch. Left arm, right leg, lower, and switch. Whole body's working. This is a great core exercise without the need to do any crunches. Also an option, if those wrists are getting tired, you come down on your forearms and just stick with the legs, getting into those glutes again. So there's lots of variations that you can take. We are gonna add on one more nice challenge here. The next time your left arm, right leg are long, keep it long and hold. If you're doing just arm or just leg, you pick and stay there. You're gonna open an inch to the sides of the rib in opposition and then close an inch. Open an inch, abs hug to wrap in. You're lifting out of that right shoulder. You're breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Resist, everything lowers, and you switch. Left arm, right leg. Your last challenge here. Find your length and reach. You open an inch, you close an inch. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Give yourself a nice big child's pose. Really awesome work. Knees fall open. Sit back on your heels. This is another great exercise, or a great stretch, I should say, to release and relax through your pelvic floor. Open up those sits bones. Take a few breaths into your back here. Awesome. We are going to enter a little bit of some arm work next. So whether you're sitting on a yoga brick, books, chair, physio ball, whatever it is, you're going to meet me there sitting. I'm going to face you guys for this one. And then you're going to grab for your weights as well here, or whatever props you're using. If no weights, that is okay too. We are going to start off with some scaption work. So these next few arm exercises are super important, right? You're going to be holding a baby soon if you're not already. And from what I hear, they get pretty heavy. So we have to build that arm strength, that posture strength, so that you have that when you have your baby. So we're gonna start off holding the weights, thumbs on the top here. Straight arms, soft elbows. You're gonna lift your arms on a slight V, just to about shoulder height. You lower it back down. We're gonna go for about 10, that's it. Now, as you keep going here, we're focusing on the top of the shoulders into the deltoids. Shoulders gliding down your back. Now, can you find the hug of your baby? Use whatever you're sitting on as feedback. Feel that pelvic floor lifting up and away, those 4 points pulling up towards your belly button. We're going for about 4 more. For 3, for 2. On this next one, we're just gonna hold here. That's it. Now find your breath. Grow yourself a little taller. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let your arms relax. Take a little shake, whatever feels good. We're gonna keep going here. This time we meet elbows by your side, palms to the ceiling here. On your next exhale, pretend you're serving a platter, or in this case, serving weights. You're gonna reach the arms forward in front, and then inhale to bend just to your waist, not too far back. Again, you exhale, reach those arms long. You inhale to bend. Same motion that you're gonna use when you're holding your baby, right? Holding the baby in front of you, same thing. So really nice range of motion here. Notice if you start to lean back, be mindful of that. You're sitting slightly forward of your sits bones. Last 4, 3, 2. Keep those arms long on this last one. You hold. Open your arms 2 inches, close 2 inches. Open and close. I know, kill it. Grow yourself a little taller. Breathe. You're here for 5, for 4, 3, 2. Last one. So good. Relax those arms. Give yourself a breath. Whew. All right, guys. We're going to go for one more challenge here. This time, we're getting into the big posture muscles. So same setup, elbows by your side, palms to the ceiling here. Elbows stay glued by your side. Pretend that you have like a $100 bill between your elbows and your waist and you don't want to lose it. So elbows stay in. You're going to externally rotate just to where you can. Might be a small range of motion. Bring it back into center. You open and you close. That's it. You are working on your rotator cuff. The big posture muscle right in the back of your shoulder here. Same muscle that keeps your shoulder plugged back. Now, so important to strengthen for everyone, right? Because naturally as humans, we like to kind of shrug forward. And especially for you guys, you might be breastfeeding soon, and you're gonna naturally be holding that baby forward, right? So it's time to strengthen those posture muscles to help us out a little later. Let's go for 6. For 5, resist. Make sure your neck is relaxed. You are working just the outside of those shoulders. Try not to pop your ribs knit in. For 3, 2. Now keep the external rotation and hold here. Last thing, you're gonna reach those arms now to the sides of the room and you bend it back in. Exhale, abs pull in and up, hug that baby. Inhale to bend. Lifting in and up, trying not to lean back. Even if you got just a small range, that is fine too. If you can't straighten those arms, you don't have to. I'm not here to judge, I'm here to guide. We're last 4. For 3. For 2. Hold where you can on this last one and freeze. Pulse your arms up an inch, down an inch. This is it. For 8. 7. Make sure arms aren't too far back. You can see them out of the corners of your eyes. Last 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. You guys did it. You're out of it. Relax those weights. Relax those arms. I'm going to give you some nice neck stretches after that here. I want you to just take your left hand behind your back. If that doesn't feel good for you, just keep it by your side or reach it long here. But you're going to let your right ear fall towards your right shoulder. If that's enough of a stretch, stick with it. If you want to increase, other arm comes up and over. Very gentle pressure here. I actually might feel it more, when I reach to the side. So just do what feels good. You're going to gently look down towards your armpit here. Slight pressure here, a little more into that trap. Awesome. Carefully, you slowly unfold yourself out of that. We're going to do the other side. Left ear, left shoulder. Top arm up and over, very gentle. Rotate, look down towards your armpit. Slight pressure here if that feels good. Awesome. We're gonna stand up here and we're gonna go into some squats. Last bit standing now, we've kind of worked towards this moment. Option, if you want to use the weights, you can. We're gonna meet standing hip width apart here. Maybe a little wider. We're gonna take your hands into a prayer to start, somewhere just in front of your chest. Now from here, you're just gonna sit your booty back like you're sitting in a chair so far behind you. Press into your heels, squeeze the smile line of your cheeks as you stand tall. Low abs pull in first to bend, and then you stand tall. Think about the bridges that you did, all the sideline work brought you to this moment. This is the same alignment that you will use when you have to pick up that baby, right? Same thing. Now I'm gonna have you just look from the side for a second as you keep going here. We don't want to round and tuck. I want you to think neutral spine. So your sits bones are wide. Really think sticking your tails out. You should have a natural small arc here. Think ribs in. Low abs super active. We're gonna go for about 6 more. Feel that connection, heels to the smile line of your cheeks. Now if you wanna add in arms here, there are a few options. So you can reach forward, maybe squeeze the shoulder blades here. At the top, for 3, for 2, last 1. We're gonna hold that squat here. Hands into your prayer. Again, I just want you to really focus on your legs. So we're holding. Now, are your low abs still on? Pull that belly button in, hug that baby in towards your spine. Can you think as if you're trying to rip the floor apart with your heels, with your feet here? Those glutes are active. Start to pulse your hips down an inch, up an inch. Pulse down an inch, up an inch. You're here for 10, belly button in, and then we'll be out of it. Squeeze those glutes. Maybe arms long if you're feeling really strong. Abs stay active. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Resist to stand all the way up. Awesome, awesome work, you guys. You can't do enough squats. Building that strength for your hips. We are gonna go into a few releases here to finish with. I want you to grab a pillow for these neck stretches. Just to protect your knees, or you can also fold up the yoga mat. We're gonna take some stretches to open up through the front of your hips. We're gonna take an Eve's lunge here. One foot in front, other leg's kneeling down. I have my right foot in front, left knee down. Now before we even move, I want you to think tucking your tail underneath you here. I already feel a stretch into my left hip flexor, also into that quad. From there, you give a slight lean forward with your hips, just to where you feel a stretch. Again, I feel it here. I don't want you to sink into your low back or unsquare those hips, right? So reset, slight tuck, slight lean forward. Squeeze your left butt cheek, you'll feel it a little more. If you have some balance issues, grab a chair, something to hold on to. If you want to increase this release, my left leg is down, my left arm reaches up and over the side. You get into that psoas a bit more, that hip flexor. Should feel good opening up through that pelvis here. Let's go for one more big breath. You slowly come out of that and we switch. Right knee down, left leg in front. Same setup, slight tuck. Find that release in the front of your right hip, you lean forward. Squeeze that right glute. If you want to increase, right knee down. So right arm up and over. Breathe into that. Awesome. We slowly come out of that. And then we're going to take my favorite, a nice mermaid release here. This should feel really nice for you ladies. So we're going to meet in a Z shape with your legs. If this is uncomfortable, sit crisscross applesauce. You can sit on that yoga brick again if that feels better. I'm going to sit in this Z shape. So I have my right shin in front, left leg bent to the side. You're going to start reaching up and over to the left. You find that nice side bend. It should feel nice and juicy. Then breathing into your ribs. Opening yourself up. Reach to the ceiling, go to the other side, let that elbow fall up and over. Again to the left. Just go to where you can. Think opening those ribs. Depending how far along and how high that baby is, I know it gets, or what I hear, it gets challenging to breathe. So opening up through your ribs should feel really good. Mermaid, you can't do enough of it as well. Again, one more time. And then we're going to carefully switch to the other side. We're going to take 3 on this side. Just going to talk through a little bit of some more info here as we finish. So you'll notice I talked a lot about those transverse abdominals. I wasn't doing any crazy ab work or ab crunches or planks. Once you're in your second and third trimester, we want to try and stay away from those crunches, right? Instead, we focus on strengthening through those transverse abdominals. During your pregnancy, you have a natural separation of your rectus, and doing crunches is just going to enhance that separation, so, or that diastasis is what it's called, and we want to try and stay away from that. Instead, doing the deep breathing and the deep core work. Let's go for one more, why not? Always feel free to hang out longer if it feels a little tighter. All right. And then you guys are all set. That was awesome work. I hope you all feel great, especially being stuck inside. I know it's hard, and I want to get you moving. If you guys have any specific requests or really any questions about anything, don't hesitate to reach out. And yeah, I hope you all feel great.